following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
Hello and welcome to Weighted Donuts. I'm Wayne Unger, and today we have a special returning guest. We have Kevin Kernan, baseball writer for the New York Post. Kevin, welcome and thank you for coming back.
Great, yeah, I'm driving all through Florida, so it's a good time to get me.
Yeah, so now yesterday, I believe were you in Fort Myers yesterday, or you were in Fort Myers today, or both?
I was in Fort Myers yesterday. Today I'm getting set for another trip.
Okay, so you wrote there was a piece that came out today in the Post about the Red Sox. Alex Cora, says we're looking to win again. What do you think the effect will be for the Red Sox if Craig Kimbrell does not come back?
Yeah, it's going to be a little tougher without Kimbrell, but the Red Sox are shown to be creative under Cora. Cora's been he's a very good baseball guy. As a matter of fact, before he got the job with the Red Sox, I wrote a column at the Post saying the Mets should hire him. He'd be a perfect hire for the Mets. But as they usually do, the Mets didn't listen to me. And, the Red Sox got Cora, and they got the World Championship. Chris Sale said it all. He really knows how to run a clubhouse. He knows how to have fun. He knows how to put your feet to the fire when need be. He runs a great game. And it was a great hire by Dombrowski, who's more of an old school guy. And, all the young Turk GMs are hiring managers they can control. It's not about winning. For half of the league, it's a joke. And the Red Sox are right out. I give Cora a lot of credit. He says, we're in it to win it. We could repeat. There's no reason why we can't. And then he pointed out all the teams that went to the World Series twice. Nobody's won since the Yankees won their 3 in a row, back to back. And Kimbrell would be a great loss, but I think they're still holding out hope they can get him. If they don't get him, I see them making big time adjustments because they're really good at that. And don't forget what Alex did for the. Sorry, here I made a little move. What Alex did for the playoffs with Evaldi. He did a tremendous job making Evaldi the closer here, basically, or using him in the high leverage innings. So with Pedroia coming back, that's not the question mark, but I want to handle all these question marks while we're on it. He's back today. He looks good, but the question is, will that left knee hold up? The history of that is not good. But Sale is in a contract year. He wants to come back. They have the starting pitching. And to me, that's Wayne. That's where they're way over the Yankees. But both the Red Sox and Astros have a lot more starting pitching than the Yankees, and I think that's the difference.
Well, I tell you, mentioning those 3 teams, I think that all the starting pitching all the way through is on all 3 teams is a question mark. With the Astros, you got Cole and Verlander at the top of the rotation, and then you have question marks. Sale, let's see if he's not fragile, and Porcello seems to be good year, bad year, and the Yankees pitching staff is, to me, a lot of people seem to feel very comfortable with it. I look at it as extremely fragile, and what I've learned is pitching will break your heart from year to year. So
yeah, and the Red Sox. Don't forget the Red Sox with David Price, who turned it around and finally became the not what he's getting paid, but close to what he's getting paid. So. Right off the bat, and they expect more from Rodriguez. Right off the bat, the Red Sox rotation is pretty strong. And when you have Verlander and Cole, I'll take my chances for some of the other questionable guys. They're going to miss Keuchel. Good point, with Houston. But the Yankees, Paxton has never pitched in the AL East. It's a different animal. I don't think he's ever gone over 150 innings. The Yankees seem to, and this is what bothers me about the Yankees, Wayne, they seem to scrape along. They don't make the big move on the pitchers. They want to do it a little bit cheaper, a little bit more conservative, and they let people like Verlander, Derek Cole get away from them. And Chris Sale's another one, And again, Sale talked about his shoulder. He's changed his whole. He's doing a lot more foundation stuff for his shoulder, and he should be a lot stronger this year. And he made a very good point. He said, the fact I only pitched 150 some innings last year, I feel fresher than I have in the past. So I think Sale, anytime a guy's in a contract year, they seem to find a way to get it done. So it's not going to be easy for the Yankees, and the bullpen is nice for the Yankees, and it's shut down. But just like you said, relievers year to year, sometimes they're day to day, And this whole idea now of playing baseball where you got to count on 4 or 5 relievers every night, I don't get it. It doesn't work. It's a losing proposition. It's a bill of, it's a snake oil salesman that's been a bill of goods that's been sold to everybody, and that's why the Yankees. I'm going to give you a stat that's going to probably may blow you away, may not. Since 2003, the Yankees have won as many World Series as the Marlins. So for all the Yankees bluster and getting into the tournament, since 2003, they've won as many World Series as the Marlins.
That's very interesting. But excuse me, what's going on today with relievers? Same thing with the shift and everything else. Baseball, strategies go in cycles, and so at some point when at the end of the year, when bullpens are failing or guys aren't bouncing back the following year because they were overused the year before, then the strategy hopefully will adjust like everything else. Tell me something. Do you think another big thing as far as the Red Sox go to me is also can we expect J.D. Martinez and Mookie Betts to equal their production of last year?
Yeah, I do. And I expect Jackie Bradley Jr. to be better. J.D. Martinez, I've had Alex Bregman tell me this. A lot of players have told me this. J.D. Martinez is like having a hitting coach. He's fantastic at what he does. He brings the other players along. Will they equal the exact numbers? Probably not, but they're good hitters, and they know how to beat the shift, and they got a year of Alex Cora under their belt. Another point Alex made is we were terrible base running early in the year. By the end of the year, we were elite, and we need to keep that going. Base running is the lost art. I've always said base running is the new steroid. If you know how to run the bases, you're ahead of the other teams. And most teams don't even run bases anymore because they've developed a generation of showcase players who go in and hit. Make their little throws on defense. It's like they're doing a showcase, and then the next thing you know, they don't do any work on base running. They don't read the ball in the outfield. And Cora tapped into that early and really made that a high priority. And if you look at the Red Sox base running compared to the Yankees base running, it was the Red Sox are way ahead of the game, and that's a lost art. So that's a lot. That's a lot for the Yankees to make up across the board.
No, I agree, and good observation about Jackie Bradley Jr., a guy who I think actually started hitting better toward the end of the season, and another guy who is just constantly improving, and to me is a budding superstar is Andrew Benintendi. So the Red Sox are formidable, but with the Yankees, you'll have a full year of Stanton maybe being a little more comfortable in New York. Judge was hurt. Sanchez was hurt and did not have a typical year. I think just like J.D. Martinez changing the lineup and how everybody else in that Red Sox lineup got pitched to, I think a healthy Sanchez and having Judge all year will also affect the Yankees lineup. But pretty much it's a two-team race in the AL East. Now, let me ask you. I just want to talk about the four major free agents remaining. So we're going to go Kimbrel, Keuchel, Machado, and Harper. So what would you call a win-win signing? In other words, good for the player, good for a team, makes the most sense for a team, makes the most sense for a player. A marriage, so to speak, for each player. Any ideas?
Well, win-win would be Harper to the Yankees. He's always wanted to be a Yankee. He would excel as a Yankee. There wouldn't be as much pressure on him because of Judge. Judge would carry him along. You'd have some positional switch issues, but you can work that out. But the Yankees aren't going there. I think it's a big mistake by them. This kid, I remember him when he was like a high school kid, basically doing tryouts at Yankee Stadium, hitting a bunch of balls into the upper deck, and the guy who was pitching batting practice to him pointed out, "Hey, great job." And he said, "I'll be doing that here in about 7 years." So he's always wanted to be a Yankee. The Yankees did not take the obvious route. So, secondly, I would say I would like to see him go to the Phillies. But I don't know if he will, because let me throw this at you. If I'm Harper and I go to the Phillies, I have to face the Mets pitching staff, and I have to face the Mets pitching staff, and I have to face the other pitching staff, like the Nationals.
Yeah.
So I think, I would have loved to see him go to the Giants. It's too big a ballpark for him. But I still think he'll go to the Phillies. Phillies wind up with him and Kimbrel, and that's a nice off season for the Phillies. Machado, I'm so tired of Machado talk. I don't even care where he goes anymore. This is a guy who said he's not Johnny Hustle. I've known him for a long time. The mistakes he made in the postseason and what he said and his disrespect for the game, in my mind, I'm out. I don't care where he goes. If I wind up with White Sox, that's fine. But he needs to clean up his act in a way of he's not a bad kid. I've known him for so many years. He's always been good with me. But you can't just say that, and then basically say, that's just who I am. No, that's not who you are. You're going to get all this money. Why do you think you're not getting the money now? So I don't want to hear any whining about, baseball, the system's broken. These guys are still getting more than they could ever dream of. And, so Machado, I would love to see Machado learn from this, be motivated, and come back and really be a great player, which he has the capabilities to do. To me, that would be fun. The Dodgers, when I went to the playoffs, a couple of Dodgers people told me right away, without even me asking, they came up to me and said, Machado's not the guy we thought he'd be. And they had some time to have him there. They didn't, they weren't thrilled with him. So this guy, Baltimore, he was on losing situation. The ship sunk in Baltimore. So to me, he has to clean up his act in a baseball way and really get focused on who he is. And he would love to be a Yankee as well. And that's ironic because that would probably be the best spot for him. Because I think if he came to the Yankees, Machado would kind of just let his talents flow. He wouldn't, he wouldn't be overbearing. I think he'd learn from Judge. Judge would be a great influence on him. But that's why I'll say until Machado's officially out of it in the Yankees' mind, I don't think he's out of it. So that's just my thoughts on some of those free agents.
What about Keuchel?
Keuchel to me is one of those guys. He'll be solid. He's on the down slope. I think he's a fallback if the Phillies don't get either Kimbrel or Harper. Because either way, if they get two of those three, they're in good shape. And I'd love to see the Phillies get back in it, in a way of, becoming a player again. Because it's boring. Too many teams. The Phillies are always a fun team to cover. They're playing well. Plus, they still have the best press room food in all of baseball. So I don't mind being in Philadelphia.
Oh, all right. Yeah, food is food is a passion of mine as well. Kevin, I appreciate.
One quick point, Wayne. It's beyond the food. They have the nicest people that work at the Philly cafeteria, and they remember you year to year. It's like going back to your 8th grade cafeteria with the lunch ladies and everyone else. So it's I'd love to see the Phillies become an interesting team again.
I just hope the food's better than my 8th grade cafeteria. So, Kevin, I really appreciate you coming on. I appreciate your time. Just hang on a second while I close out the show, and let me just say goodbye to everybody. Folks, I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you, Kevin, for coming on, and we'll see you next time.
The proceeding was a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production. Thank you for listening.